Hey you guys, welcome to my truck. Uh, I'm doing this video up here because I've had this one main issue and I've searched YouTube and I've literally did everything that you're not having to do. What I'm about to tell you guys is about to help you not waste too much money. So let's go through this process real quick. This is a 2002 Ford F-150. Don't worry about the engine size and all that. That ain't got nothing to do with this problem I'm finna share with y'all. All right. So the problem was I fixed it now, but I'm not gonna take apart things, but I'm gonna point it out. And I'm gonna shine my flashlight on it, and I'm gonna show you where you need to go to fix this problem. So, okay, good. Flashlight works. So intermittent starting and stopping. Randomly, you start the truck up and you're driving and it stops just out of nowhere. You ain't even gotta be driving. You can just have the truck running and it just stops on you. Okay. Uh, Intermittent, like literally. And every time it does it, the theft code goes off. Right. All right. So here's what I found and I fixed the problem. Uh, I searched on YouTube. It wasn't the transponder or the transceiver. I did get a new key, and that didn't work. Uh, All right, so I'm gonna take you to the steps of what I end up realizing, what I end up doing, and what I found out the problem was. Got a new key, didn't work. Got a transceiver. No, I got a transceiver first, and it kind of fixed the problem. Didn't work. Got a new key, didn't work. Before I got the key, I went and got the diode under the hood. With the number, I think it's the third diode. Either way, it's a little small little diode fuse. Got a brand new one from the Ford dealership. That everything I put in when I put it in brand new, it worked. And then once again the intermittent stopping kept on going. So I kept on, man. I end up putting everything back together, and I put all these pieces, all these parts back together. And one day I was just like, every time I do this and the truck keeps cutting off, what do I do? So, I mean, yes, I have money to keep on throwing money at the problem, but I'm not that type of guy. What if I'm broke and I can't fix it? Well, or I can't send it to a shop. Well, I remember one time, man, as I was driving, and it pissed me off so bad when the truck just shut off on me. I was so pissed. I kicked it like that, and sure enough, all the lights came back on while the truck was still rolling. The lights came back on. So I threw the car in neutral while it was still rolling, fired it up, and it came back on. So I pulled over to a safe spot, parked the truck while it was still running, and sure enough, it cut off again. And I kicked the panel again. Lights came all the way back on. I did this for about 4 days, driving, letting it cut off, and doing that. Then I hit it, lights come back on. You know, so that let me know that whatever the problem was is going on under here. The problem is going on under here somewhere. So I dismantled everything, and I'm gonna show you real quick. Truck is running, but I got my other key. This key, once I push it all the way in, it don't come out. But my other key can come out whenever. So I can pull the key out, but this is what you're gonna have to do. Pop that off. It comes off easily. Well, it don't really come off easy. I've been doing it so many times that this thing kind of pops off easily now. But you're gonna, because that's the only way that you're gonna get this shroud off. So you've got screws right here, and another screw right there, I believe, and a third screw on this side, which is right there. Then you're gonna unscrew the steering wheel positioner. You're gonna where the steering wheel goes up and down, this little lever right here. You're gonna unscrew that and let that come off. All right, so this thing is still undone. You're gonna take this off. These things are just snap on. So most of this stuff comes off easily. And it's a little tricky, but you're gonna take that off. All right. Then that's a little bolt right here. I think it's an 8mm or a 7mm bolt. You want to take that off. Then over here, I don't remember, but I'm gonna take this off. Then you want to undo that bolt where the hood thing is, and the only well, let me yeah. You want to undo that bolt so you can get to removing this. So this bolt where the hood latch is, there's a bolt that holds that. You're gonna take that off because that holds this thing and that bolt. All those two bolts, that hood latch and this bolt right, that screw right here, holds this whole plastic thing up. When you take those two off, there's a metal plate that sits under this. When you take this plastic piece off, there's a metal plate, and then there's two bolts right here and right there. You want to take those off, and that removes that metal plate. Let me see. Yeah, that removes that metal plate down there. I'm not taking this off because that's just too much extra to show you guys. But listen to me and do what I'm telling you step by step. Remember, first, take this plastic piece off, and when you take this plastic piece off where the key goes in, unscrew 1, 2, and 3. And then when you do that, this bottom piece comes off. And once this bottom piece comes off, unscrew. Okay, you got to unscrew this in order for that whole bottom piece to come off. Now you can do that. You don't have to. Now that I look at it, you don't have to take this bottom piece off, but you gotta take this top part off. And this top part is already undone. Let me see. Let me make sure. Well, no, it's screwed in. But once you take that piece off and unscrew, you can even unscrew that one. Yeah, this screw, that screw, this lever right here, those two screws, take all four of those pieces out, and then this top piece comes off. You have to shimmy it around the gear selector. You have to shimmy it around that to get it off. But once that's off, matter of fact, that's for your transceiver. That's for your transceiver. So that's what I went through and found out that that wasn't it. So don't worry about this. Thank you guys for listening and watching. Don't worry about taking this off. Only thing you have to take off, leave all this around. The steering column, leave all that plastic up there. Leave that on there. Don't even worry about that. This screw here, this one here on the hood latch, take that off. This plastic piece on the bottom comes off. Once you get that off, then it's two bigger bolts. I think it's like a 10 or an 11 millimeter. Unscrew those, then that metal, that whole metal shroud that sits under this plastic shroud, it comes off. When you take that off, where's the flashlight? When you take that off, you're gonna end up down here. Let me open the door and get down there so I can show you guys, because it took me 2 months to figure this out. 2 months and about $280. Now, you see the fuse box? That's where your problem is. Because every time I kept hitting the thing and it kept coming on, then I ended up taking out the number 30 fuse, and come to find out that was my ignition fuse. But so when I snatch it out, the truck cuts off. Put it back in, crank the truck up, it came on. Snatch it out, truck comes out, cuts off. So I end up sourcing that out and figuring out, man, there's gotta be something dealing with the fuse box there. So man, after I took those two bolts of that metal shroud out, I was able to get under. Can you see that? That's that's the top. What you want to get to is, man, I hope I can hold this in it and hold this adjusted just right so you guys can see. What you want to get to is this box right here. But in order to get this is the toughest thing to remove, because all of this, the brake pedal, everything else that's in the way. So it's two bolts behind here. It's two bolts sitting right on top. Let me feel it. It's a bolt right here on top of this. Right on top of this on my middle finger. Right on top of this, I'm shifting my middle finger up. There's a bolt sitting right there. Unscrew that, and right next to it, there's another bolt. Let me see if I. There's another bolt right next to that. This is a big ass cluster full of wires that's going to your fuse box. Now, what you're doing is you're detaching that fuse box. You take all that off, and what you're gonna have to do is remove this. Well, actually, just this one box. Once you take that all the way off, It's going to take some time because you're going to basically end up removing this whole dang fuse box out. Now the fuse box isn't going to come all the way out. This flashlight, you guys can't see what I'm trying to show you because of this flashlight. Let me see if I can do it this way. All right. So you're gonna want to take this fuse box here. This fuse box, this whole box has to come out, but it only comes out down under here. Take this whole thing, shimmy it out, pull it out, and once you get that one bolt on the left side, once you get that one detached, pull that thing out. And if you want to spray it with some QRC, now it's not going to come all the way out because it's just cluster fucked up there. But once you get it out to where you can see the connectors, you're gonna want to probably spray some QRC sprayer in there just to clean those connections up. And all you're gonna do is just put it back together. And when you screw it in, it's not going to go to a tight snug screw. It's not going to set screws. I don't know why this doesn't do that, but it just keeps on screwing, and it never tightens up. But what you want to do is you want to, like, let's say it took you 40 seconds to unscrew it. You're going to want to spend a minute screwing it back in. You see what I'm saying? 20 more seconds to make sure that shit is completely seated down, even though it's not going to seat tightly. You want to make sure it's completely seated down. Put that back together, set it in, and I guarantee you, I never had a problem since I fixed that. Take that fuse box out. It's not even a fuse box, it's faulty. Because if the truck keeps firing up, that means it's something working. It's just something missing. Intermittent means most of the time something is loose. So take the fuse box out. If you feel like it, screw it back in, clean it, let it sit for a few minutes while that QRC airs out. 20 minutes if you want to, because guarantee that 20 minutes is worth more than spending $300, $400, $500 for somebody taking this thing out for you. Put it back in. It's gonna take a little shimmy and put it back in. Bolt that thing back in. Let's see. No, I didn't have to remove those bolts. Yeah, I did. There are two bolts right here. There are two bolts. You see those two screws? That one, and that one. You're gonna want to unscrew those so you can get that thing out. Unscrew that whole fuse box. Trust me. Unscrew the fuse box. These two connectors right here, they big ass connectors. They're big connectors with 1,000 wires going to it. You're gonna know it when you see it. It's to the left of your brake pedal, and it's your fuse box. Unscrew that. Fight with it to get it out of there because you're gonna have to fight with it. Get that thing out of there. Untighten that linkage where the connectors are. Clean it if you feel like you gotta clean it. Put it back together and spend more time than you did unloosening it. Spend more time tightening it, and just watch how, man, thank you. You know what I'm saying? When I said thank you for fixing that, because I had to get that shit fixed and I ain't had no more money. I hope this helped you guys. 2002 Ford F-150. It is a 5.4, but that motor size don't work. Don't matter. But your problem with your intermittent 1.1, your theft light going off 1.1 or 1.6, that it's because of this fuse box right here. It's because the fuse box is getting a weak connection. Tighten that bolt back up. Bet you your shit gonna work from there on. Thank you guys. Bye. Sorry it took so long to relay that message.